Worked perfectly. Quick toss, quick grab, slip between the defender and run him into the end zone.
Well, at halftime on the interview, the head coach for the Mustangs, Michael Trigg, he talked about not only Gerald's speed, but also his moves to set up the deep patterns. And that's why Gerald's been given so much room underneath. And after he makes a catch, a great job of breaking the tackle of Wayne Wade. Watch Wayne Wade try to come up and make the hit. A nice inside move. Gerald spins away, his second touchdown grab of the evening. Anaheim looking to go up 21 points.
There's the snap, and Houfield for the point after makes it good. And it is now 35-14. Anaheim has taken a big-time lead over Milwaukee. We'll be happy little youngster, 35-14. Anaheim up by 3 touchdowns. Molander's thrown 5 TD passes. The Piranhas will be back on the prime lineup next Saturday night. They'll host the Arena Bowl champion Tampa Bay Storm here at the Pond. Tampa Bay, Anaheim, if things continue as they are, the only 2 undefeated teams in the Arena Football League. Saturday night, 15th, 6 o'clock, right here on Prime. Again, the kickoff is bobbled about by Milwaukee. They will start at about the 1-yard line. Andre Aldrich on the sidelines. What do you got, Andre?
Well, Tom, I'm here with Adrian Gerald, and I guess your knee's okay. You missed a couple of games here. How you feeling out there?
I'm feeling great tonight. You know, I missed a couple with a sprained knee, but I'm back now, and I'm feeling good tonight.
You guys are playing against one of the better defensive teams in the Arena League, but it's not phasing you at all.
No, it's not. We're fortunate enough to do well tonight. Scooter's reading the defenses. I'm just trying to run the good routes and catch the ball, and we're just making it happen tonight.
All right, the Golden Dome are definitely taking care of business out here at the Pond tonight. Tom, David?
All right, Andre, they marked it out at the 3-yard line. A flag upfield, I guess, a procedure call against the kicking team, which would be the Piranhas. And that took it from the 1 out to the 3. So Hamill, first down at his own 3-yard line, going to run it again. Hands it off, and big pileup of humanity at about the 6-yard line. The ball carrier was Savage. Savage has the only 2 touchdowns for Milwaukee, both coming on the ground on big-time runs.
Look at the defensive numbers there. 211 yards per game Anaheim allowing coming into this one. #1 scoring defense in the league. Of course, they lead the league in sacks, but got to give a lot of credit to the Piranhas offensive line as well tonight. They've been protecting Scooter Molander well, giving him time to hit his receiving core.
Second down, big rush, pass upfield is complete, caught and grabbed by Andrews for very close to first down yardage. Officials are eyeballing it, and we'll see how they see it. And I think they're going to make it a first down. They are. 1st and 10, Milwaukee out at the Milwaukee 14-yard line. 8-yard pickup by Hamill.
George Brancato's defense so far this year, 4 games they've given up 23 points or less. That's unbelievable in a league where passing is so emphasized.
Handoff on a delay and a bit of a mix-up, it appeared, but Savage turns it into a big first down run as he takes it to the Anaheim 20-yard line, which is going to be about 16 yards. Very nice pickup. I don't know but what he was going to go one way. The ball starts back, starts in, starts out again, finds some blocking. That's pretty good running, David.
That's a nice little trap play. They fake the sweep. They sell that fake to the right side, and then the handoff on the trap. A little misdirection there from the Mustangs.
79 yards for Savage, and the only 2 scores of the game for Milwaukee, averaging better than 13 yards a carry. There's the pass upfield, caught by Andrews, wrested away from him by Mazzone, but they say Andrews had it when the play was dead, so it's going to be a gain to the Anaheim 13-yard line. Going to be 8 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 2. Rodney Mazzone went to UNLV, 5'8", 180 pounds. 2nd and 2, and the handoff to Savage again, gets hit and dropped at the 10. He might have been headed for the end zone if it hadn't been for Burchett, who makes an ankle grab to bring him down. Mark it at the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Milwaukee. Ball just outside the 10. 1st and I imagine they could score without getting at the end zone, but we'll call it 1st and goal. They're down 35-14, and Hamill trying to get his ball club back into this one with just over 2 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Anaheim defense going to have to rise up. Hamilton throw, looking. Pressure, gets hit, throws it, caught. The officials are going to call it a completed pass, but who caught it? Number 64. And 64 is not an eligible receiver, I shouldn't think, is he? Garrett is indeed a tight end. That's right.
He's the backup. They slipped him in the game for Ralph Jarvis. And
can you believe that?
The question here is whether Garrett holds on to the ball. What a great job by Hamill. We mentioned he's got very good mobility. He can hurt you with his feet, and he stays alive. Should have been sacked. Maybe an ill-advised throw, but he puts it right on the money for Garrett. Garrett never had possession of that ball. He was fumbling the football as he hit the boards, and he let the ball go into the stands. Big break for the Mustangs there.
They're going to run it again, and they give it to the big guy, Savage, and he takes it in the end zone for the third time. So some questionable calls that certainly aided and abetted a drive of the Milwaukee Mustang. One, a fumble and a touchdown recovery in the end zone that wasn't by Anaheim, and now a catch here up against the boards that was but wasn't. As a result, Milwaukee's got themselves a touchdown. It is now 35-20. And we'll see about the PAT. Now, Savage puts it in the end zone and does a little bit of a victory dance. 3 touchdowns for Savage tonight. Point after is good. 35-21. Back to a 14-point ball game now. Anaheim leads, and we've got just half a minute remaining here in this, the third period. Anaheim Piranha football brought to you by Spoon's California Grill. Visit the Spoon's California Grill located on North Placentia in Fullerton. Catch a free ride on the Piranha shuttle for all of Piranha home games. For more information, call Spoon's California Grill 714-524-0700. 7 plays, 46 yards for Milwaukee. And Savage with his 3rd touchdown on the ground.
36 seconds to go here in the third period. Only a 14-point game, and by no means in arena football an insurmountable lead. There's Jeff Savage. What a great job he's done running the football. 83 yards in an arena league game is it's like 160 yards in a conventional football game. Great job by the big fullback. 3 touchdowns tonight for Savage.
The kickoff sails under the bar, over the barrier, and into the crowd. It'll come out to the 5. Anaheim will have it 1st and 10. The Piranhas on their 5-yard line, and the fans sitting right underneath the field goal area, right back of the screen, doing high fives. They've got a football.
I'm the man! I'm the man! I'm the man! Every game! Every game! Yeah!
I gather he sits there for every home game, David. Is that what I was supposed to get out of that?
I can't tell who's crazier in this league, the fans or the players.
First at the 5-yard line. The pitch. Running the football. Anaheim comes out of that first set, and carrying it is Johnson. He takes it up to the 15-yard line. And very close to, but not going to be a first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 at the 15. Timeout in this, the third period. It is 35-21 in favor of Anaheim. We'll be back for the 4th quarter after this. On Prime Sports. After 3 periods of play, 35-21. There's a David Norrie fan doing his thing.
Village people. These people lost their mind. I can't believe it.
They're having fun here at the pond. And the Piranhas are up by 14. Everybody gets into the act. The young, the real young. He said, don't interrupt me. I'm having lunch. All right, Anaheim will have it on their own 15-yard line. 2nd down, less than a yard to go. They lead 35-21 as we get the 4th period underway here. Big crowd. Next Saturday night, Anaheim goes against Tampa Bay. Coming into the game tonight, Anaheim, the Piranhas, and the Storm, the only 2 undefeated teams in arena football. And Scooter Molander has 5 touchdown tosses tonight and is trying to continue the unbeaten mark. Oh, good good effort and a fight for the first down. Carroll takes it over the 15-yard line. That should be good for the first down. 1st and 10 for the Piranhas. You can see the preponderance of yardage going for Anaheim in the passing department and the big-time yardage for Milwaukee in the rushing department, thanks to the abilities of Savage.
Savage 80 yards so far with a quarter to go, and the league best this season, 86 yards by Bernard Hall of St. Louis against Albany a week ago. A couple more rushes. Savage should set a season-long best.
Big-time effort by Carroll to get the yardage for the first down, and Molander back to throw. Fires it out in the flat, caught by Bridges, trying to break a tackle, can't get away. Babb had him at the, Anaheim make it the Milwaukee 24-yard line. That's going to be point of progress. At the 24, that'll be another first down. Boy, Babb really put a hit on Bridges, who has a touchdown catch. Bridges would not let go of the football.
Bridges is a player who wasn't even on the active roster until week 4 against Texas. Almost was waived in the preseason. Played in the NFL at one time. He was a 6th-round draft pick back in 1991. He's emerged as the number 3 defensive back, a great compliment to Carlton Johnson and Rodney Mazzone.
In motion is Gerald. Molander looking to throw. Fires it to the end zone for Gerald. Oh, had it and couldn't hang on. Had it and couldn't hang on. Defensively back there playing some really hard-nosed football was James.
And Adrian Gerald just
10 back at the 24.
hiding against the boards there in the end zone. Scooter Molander, this is a perfectly thrown ball. Not an easy catch, but Adrian Gerald would tell you he should have had that one. Michael James, tight coverage in the end zone, but watch Molander lay this ball out on the streak. James didn't even get a piece of that one.
Gerald should have had it, no question about it, right through his hands. Not easy, but certainly he should have caught it. Grabbed that one right by the side. We'll see what they mark progress. Official says at the 17-yard line. Gerald going down there to mark it.
Gerald put a defensive back in a bind. You have to play off him. There's a look at Scooter Molander. Nice numbers tonight, 16 for 24.
5 touchdowns.
Super night for the young quarterback.
Came in with 18. He's got 23 now in the year.
60% passer. Has not been sacked in over 6 games. That's unbelievable.
We're in the 4th quarter. 12 minutes remaining. Pass, caught. Bridges. Boy, and he got whacked too when he grabbed it. Do they mark it? Down at about the 11-yard line, which will be enough for a 1st and 10 for Anaheim at the Milwaukee 11. I tell you, Molander is finding his receivers and hitting them, but to give the defense their due, they are really smacking into these guys, and it's a credit to not only Molander, but the receivers are able to catch him and hold on.
Well, the thing that sets Molander apart from the majority of the quarterbacks in this league is the fact that he's patient. He'll come down underneath time and time again until you give him an opening, and then when you let a receiver go on a deep route, he usually capitalizes.
11 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Anaheim leads 35-21. They're up by 14. There's a flag, and they ran out of time. Delay of game. They just used up too many seconds. And so it's going to be...
On the offense, number 3, 3-yard penalty, first down.
It'll be 1st and 13 back at the 14-yard line.
That surprises me a little bit there. Scooter Molander, when he comes out of the huddle, he's got to find that 25-second clock in his vision. Maybe Perilli's instructed him to take a 5-yarder at times because it's tough. The 25-second clock is short in this league. You got to get things communicated. Only 2 timeouts left as well for the Piranhas.
But he's got a little more room to operate in too, David Nury. That's the only upside on the thing. He's got at least another...
Timer. 5 seconds should have run off the clock.
I was going to say that when Jack started the clock while it was at 25 and it stayed there for what seemed like forever, and then suddenly decided to move. Now it's still at 25, and he's rolling it now. 24, 23, 22, and again Anaheim is huddling. I don't know why.
Nothing like a hometown timekeeper.
No, that's right. That's right. Well, they're at 13, 12, 11 seconds now to get the play underway. He does have a bit more room to throw the football in. We'll see if it works to his advantage. Back to throw. Fires it over the middle. Oh! Catch right at the shoe tops. And Gerald couldn't hang on. Now, that's two that he might have had. One, certainly one would have thought a while ago. This one here might have been a bit more difficult, but catchable, I think.
Now, this one's really on Molander. This ball's delivered right on the shoe tops. That's a real tough play. I'd say that Gerald should have had the catch on the streak for the touchdown, but this time Molander's just got to get the ball up a little bit more. Spectacular effort there by Gerald to try to make a shoestring grab. Would have been his third touchdown of the night.
Under 10 seconds, down to 7 to get this play off now. Gerald goes back in motion. The snap. Molander firing for the end zone. Has Gerald. Oh, he drops that one. I tell you, you won't see that again. You know, he took his eye off the ball to look at the wall, I think, David. Which is certainly understandable, but I think that's exactly what happened to him.
This is one of the few fields in the Arena League where they have rounded corners in the back of the end zone, so the pads are a little closer than normal. At the pond here, still Jarrell. He's got to make this play. Makes a nice play adjusting to the ball in midair, and boy, Gerald hates to see those opportunities go by the boards.
Molander back to throw, steps up, throws that pass. His arm was hit as he let it go, and it goes incomplete. And Houfield will come on now to see about a field goal, to see if they've had several passes in the end zone should have been caught. Anaheim Piranha football brought to you by the National Sports Grill. If you plan your week around sports, only one place to go, the National Sports Grill. 6 locations in Southern California. National Sports Grill is a sports entertainment concept so huge, it's national. All right, they're going to mark it at about the 22. 21. Call it a 29-yard field goal try, says Dennis Mnuchin. Outfield hits it. It is up, and it is good. So Houfield nails a 3-pointer. It is now 38-21. 17-point advantage for the Piranhas. We'll be back with... Thanks to Houfield's toe, 38-21. Anaheim with a 17-point advantage over Milwaukee. Enjoy the show and then relax with the Sutton Place Hotel's Pageant of the Masters package. For reservations, call 714-476-2001. Sutton Place Hotel, the host hotel for all visiting teams for the Anaheim Piranhas. Well, the defense now will have to take a hand. The offense really let Molander down, and he might have been guilty of one of the miscues himself, David Murray. There's the ball off the screen, and the man who picked it up stepped over the end line. He was out of bounds, so it's got to come out to the 5. And that was Stewart. Milwaukee will start 1st and 10 on their 5. Gerald should have caught 2 of the 3 in the end zone. The one, as you pointed out, the shoe tops. Had it been up just a foot, why, he probably would have pulled that in. There's Gerald over the sidelines. Magnificent receiver, and he's saying to himself, I can't believe I dropped those 2.
Look at Anaheim, so successful in the final stanza this year. Really outplaying the opposition late.
Ball is fumbled, coming back from center. Hamill bobbles it. Let's see about it now. They are screaming for a safety. They haven't gotten much of a break at all tonight. I mean the Piranhas. They've had a touchdown taken away. And Johnson and everybody really screaming that Hamill fumbled the ball in the end zone.
And the replay will show here that this should have been a safety. Watch Hamill bring the ball in behind the goal line and then reach it out.
That is
clearly it's a safety, and once again,
that's terrible officiating.
The officials giving the benefit of the doubt to the Mustangs. That's a big play. Let's see if it has an impact. 7:25 and counting here in the 4th quarter.
I know I should keep my mouth shut, but that is terrible officiating. It'll be 2nd down and about 15. Hamill deep in the end zone to throw. Fires it incomplete into the crowd, and the fans are scrambling for that one. As unable to get a hold of it, his intended receiver upfield, number 6, is Petrie.
Can the announcers draw a fine in this league?
Well, they'll probably suspend me.
Talking tough on the officials, Tom?
That's terrible officiating. It truly is. I mean, it's quite obvious. Hamill is lying down in the end zone with the football. The ball is on the ground or the turf, and he shoves it back out to the 1-yard line. Third down. Nice pass. Completion and out of bounds over the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Pass is caught by Ford. It'll be a first down. I mean, there have been several instances tonight. Hernandez gets credit for a sack on a leg kick that drops the quarterback. A leg whip, you know.
That's a nice play, though, by Hamill, keeping this drive alive. Under 6 minutes to go. And
trailing 38. There's a pass. Tackled, busted by Stewart. Finally brought down on about the Anaheim 21-yard line. Will be another gain for a first down for Milwaukee.
That 29-yard field goal by Ian Howfield, really a key play for the Piranhas in the fourth quarter. It puts them up by more than 2 scores. Let's see if the Piranhas defense can step into the challenge.
They hand it off to the running back, and Savage again bowls his way. Not Savage, Lancombe this time. No, Taylor brought a third back in there on me. Taylor in there to make that smash over the middle to the 19-yard line. Gain of 2. It'll be about 2nd and 8. Clock continues to run. 5:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. Milwaukee trying to bounce back. Pass is caught and complete. With it is Petrie, and they shove him out of bounds. Maison to make the stop, and they'll mark it. At the 12-yard line. 3rd and a yard to go for Milwaukee. 4:45 and the clock ticking away. It was 7-0, 7-7, 14-7, 14-14, 21-14 at halftime. Then 28-14, 35-14, 35-21, and now it is 38-21. They drive the ball into the middle of the field. I don't know, but Milwaukee might even be thinking about getting a field goal now, David. What do you think?
Now, first things first.
Yes.
I know that as a quarterback, you're taught in the red zone to keep that field goal in your back pocket. Obviously, the Mustangs are trying to score here, and with the clock ticking down on the 4-minute mark, Michael Triggs thinking touchdown all the way, and I'm sure his quarterback, Todd Hamill, he's thinking the same thing.
Stewart in motion, Hamill to throw, looking, throws, pass complete, and into the end zone with it. No, stepped out of bounds before he got to the end zone. Ford with the ball had beaten Bridges defensively, but stepped out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd at the 3.
Hamill's just done a great job working the sidelines. Unfortunately for Hamill, in arena football, it's a running clock until the last minute of each half. So time running short.
They give it to the big back, and he is at the goal line, and they're not going to let him go in for the touchdown. And I think he did score, to be honest with you. I think that he's over the end line, but they aren't going to let him have it. Taylor.
Well, here's an instance where the ball carrier is over the goal line, but the ball is not. Watch the ball here. The ball doesn't quite break the plane. He's carrying it low down near his belt there.
That is an unbelievable defensive stand as Taylor hammered into the line not once or twice, but 3 times.